Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday evening. It's 9 o'clock. Time to gather in the music room and live stream. But first, as always, a little music. Enjoy.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proudly stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let a flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
Good evening, everyone. So nice of you to be here. As always, of course. But nicer if you showed up on my side of the screen. I certainly hope I'm showing on your end of the screen. Must be an enormous lag. So I can see. But real managed somehow. La 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 la. Maybe I should play a song while we're waiting, eh? Yeah, I could do that. Play a song. Yeah, play a song, John. Good evening, Budgie. I was going to play a bit of music there because no one has arrived apart from you. I'll finally frighten everybody off. I'll play some music, shall I? Yeah, let's play some music. Yeah, so how are you doing there, Budgie? You all right? Right. Well, we're waiting on you. What do you think? This is one of my favorite pieces that I do. Titled Winter Roads. You find a hole, look down it. Quite a lot of people showing up on my report on the subject today. Okay. Well, Budgie, it looks as though it's just you and I. As I say, there are many more registered on my meter, but no one is showing up in the chat apart from your good self, sir. So that's rather strange. I have no explanation, of course. Not being. Oh, there's Treble M. Good evening, Treble M. We're just trying to figure out. Well, there's lots of people showing up on the register, but you're lurking. But no one apart from Budgie and your good self, Treble M, are in the chat. Well, Steve has joined us, telling me he has been lurking. Well, that's fair enough, Steve. I have a counter up here, and it tells me there are many more people should be in the chat than there are. So I can't explain that. I hope you're all okay, folks. I don't know about you, but I was out today and I found it, for me, it was cold today. But it was dry, and it still is. Oh, you're supposed to be watching. Well, I don't know, Treble M. I have no idea. I'm a bit like yourself when it comes to this. I don't know that much. And it could be, as Budgie is saying, it could be YouTube messing around with channels like myself. It could easily be that. Or you suffer from hay fever. That's something that has gradually pressed itself upon me the older I've become. This hay fever business never used to bother me one way or the other, but the older I become, it does make a presence known. Who can fathom such things? Good question there, Treble M. What is it you're watching, Budgie? Did you watch my octopus teacher, Treble M? Steve, did you watch it? Hope you did. I hope you did. Elf. Oh, so you've suffered that all your life. Yeah. Some people get it real bad. Christmas film, yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know what we should do here with something far wrong. I can sit here and talk to Treble M. Oh, again, don't ask me, Treble M, what that means and how it can be overloaded. And I couldn't help but notice that William he has on a trailer, an official trailer, um, for a film that I had been talking about ages and ages ago. Really. Then we form a church here. Very good. I don't mind that. Yeah, the film he's got listed, well, one of the films he's got listed up there on his channel is Colossus, the Forbin Project. I suffer from hay fever and asthma ever since walking through a field of yellow rope, or is it rape, when I was 6 years old. It nearly killed me. Well, yeah, well, I wish somebody could break through this craziness and show up in the chat. As I say, I have mildly felt it the older I became. And I've talked about in my 60s when it started. But it's not dreadful or anything. Well, we're into double digits now, according to the meter. No, she is not. She's not Tremolem. She is not indeed. However, I'll try and she sent me a photograph, so I'll try and get a hold of it here. There it's there. Right. Never as easy as you think. I have to download it first. I thought I could just lift it out of there. But no, not that simple. Why would it be? Got it. Is Julia? Oh, there's Julia. Well, actually, you're not late. There's a whole pile of people after you've managed to get through, show up in the chat. So I'll show you the photograph. So there you go. That's Alison here. That's hospital ward sister, Mary. She is in charge of the admissions ward of the local hospital. She was one of the many nurses who was looking after me when I was in. Good grief, there's somebody else. A tight Scotsman. It's a new name for here. Good evening to you, sir. Oh, so Dangerfield is streaming again, is he? Am I? Well, at this time. Thank you for letting me know. So there you go. Treble M. Yeah, this one here is a troublemaker. She won't be a part of this group for much longer, Treble M. These two girls and Alison have been friends for about 20 odd years. And Alison invited this girl to join them, but she's turned out to be a troublemaker. This is the troublemaker here. Alison can't get moving for her. This is Alison, of course. That's, as I said, Mary. She's in charge of the admissions ward at the local hospital. And this is Claire. I don't know what she does. So they're in Mallorca, and I had a look, but I see there's local demonstrations going on. Complaining about too many tourists. Who knows? I don't know. Are they've been friends, those three, Treble M, for, as I say, about 25 years or so. So it won't be any problems. You're supposed to be moderating, Steve. Ah, I see. Well, William, that's interesting. I see from one of the thumbnails that you have up on your channel, as you know, I'm sub to you, so I get material from you. And you've got a film up there, a trailer for a film that I had spoken about ages and ages ago. And I had said that one of the things when you're as old as me and going to the movies as I did, very young, films came and went. And if you didn't see them, that was too bad. Yeah, that's the one. Colossus, the Foreman Project. So, in order for that film to remain in my mind, it had to be something special. And that was something special, at least to me. And the thing was, I could remember the whole storyline and everything. But what had slipped my memory for a lifetime was the title of the film. Until one night I was talking with my pal, and between us we came up with it. Uh, the title, Steve, is My Octopus Teacher. So going back to the computer uh, film, if you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. I've often toyed with recommending it for film review, but I'm not sure that it's ready available. Uh, it comes from a three novels that the author wrote. That's the first one. But the other two never blossomed into films. I've been tempted on and off over the years to buy the novels. But as I say, there's the reason uh, it stuck with me is because in those days the story had to be different or powerful or visually unusual or something. There had to be something about it for it to remain so strong. And I've talked about this film over my lifetime, on and off, with various people. So I can highly recommend it if you've not seen it. But as I say, I eventually I bought the thing. That's how impressed I was. And I've watched it a couple of times. I thought it was a really good watch. Now you think of some of the rubbish that I was watching back in the 50s. That was one of the few science fictions that has stood the test of time. I mean, most of those films were pretty rubbish, cheaply made for a quick profit. Hey, God, Julia, I've got another 24-hour YouTube ban. I can't comment, but I can live chat. Well, Mr. Dangerfield keeps up. It'll, it'll get to the point where it won't be worth my while coming on, to be honest. Of course, he's always been that way. He doesn't consider anybody but himself. But what we can do is we can finish early. There's no point in sitting here, you know, just for a few folk. I'll tell you what we could do if you want. Uh, he's a YouTuber, Julia. He lives abroad. Um, see my comment above, John. Hang on, hang on. Uh, last comment I've got from you, my friend, is the one with the supercomputer. Love the thumbnail, John. See my comment above, John. Well, that's the comments I've got. That's it. That's all I've got, my friend. If there's something there, that should be something else there that I should be looking at. I don't see it. I'll be streaming on a Friday from 7 till 9, so I can send folk over. Well, fine. That's terrific. But I've got more up here on my, well, I had more up here on my my little clock gives you the number volume. Strange, I was saying about me and you reviewing the film over on my channel once I've watched it if you want. Well, we could do that. That would be interesting. Oh, Steve. Oh, you're telling her who Chris Dangerfield is. He's meant to be on our side of the fence, Julia, as far as politics are concerned. He was very much involved with Mark Collett at one point. Uh, if you're not into drugs, and when I say drugs, I don't mean smoking the odd joint, I'm talking about drugs, serious stuff, then you wouldn't get a lot out of him, I don't think. Unless he's changed, but I don't think so. Some of his folk have drifted onto this channel. Over the years. I came across him a long time ago when he had less than 100 people subbed, a lot less, and he was living in Soho at the time. And then he upped and went to Cambodia, took up with a local girl, and has been there ever since. Well, let me know, William, if you would like to do that. Film review on that on your channel. I can easily watch Colossus any time when as I say, it's part of my collection. Really, 1,000 subs? As far as I'm concerned, Treble, I don't think so. I don't want to say too much here about Dangerfield. There's things I could say, but I'm not going to. What's the best film I've ever watched? Good Lord, that's a tough one. Oof. That's a real tough question, William. The best film? I'm struggling to find the answer. I'm not really the kind of person that enjoys the idea of lists like that. But I am trying to answer your question. It's tough. Yeah. Especially when I consider the amount of films that I've seen over my life. I don't think I could single one out, to be honest. There's been so many really good films that I've enjoyed. It would be damn near impossible to single one out. You feel the same, Steve? Got to remember, William, and I'm not bragging when I say this, okay? But I have been watching films since I was a very small boy, partly due to my mother's influence. And, well, what was your best decade for film? Hello there, Bearing the Brunt. Nice to see you. The best decade. I think there was a lot of great films made in the 50s and 60s. But films, I don't know if you agree, William, films is a bit like any other art form, books, theatre, music. A lot depends on the mood you're in when you confront the art form. Possibly up there as a contender for a number one spot would be oh oh there's a little gem of a movie there. I was going to put forward Citizen Kane. I think a better film that was ruined by Hollywood was the Magnificent Ambersons. It was a much better film, or it would have been had it been left alone for Orson Welles to finish it. Unfortunately, it was messed around. But these are films for me. These are films I've got to be in the right frame of mind to watch them. If I'm in the right frame of mind, I will happily watch a film, a sci-fi, a modern sci-fi, such as The Core, uh, or the Colossus there. Robert Taylor and Vivian Leigh and Waterloo Bridge is a gem of a film if you haven't seen it. It's black and white, of course, but it's a gem of a romance. If you have a romantic touch to your heart at all, you'll enjoy it. Tragic love story, but wonderful, wonderful little story. Don't make them like that. There are modern films as well. As I say, William, it's a toughie to answer. I suppose all in all, it would have to be Citizen Kane from a photographic point of view, in terms of images, quality of images, uh, from a technical point of view, from a storytelling point of view, the writing, from every aspect. I think it comes out on top. But I have seen it so many times, and I've watched it for various different reasons. And like every other actor, when he was on form and in the right part, Orson Welles was really, really good. Good evening, Mr. Duck. Nice to see you here. I don't know the film, Duck, and I haven't seen it. Arsenic and old lace, says Steve. You could. Well, there's so many film titles that you could just throw in there that would be out of place. 12 Angry Men. Great film. Somebody up there likes me. On the waterfront. Streetcar Named Desire. Suddenly Last Summer. Yeah, quite so many as I couldn't name them all. I think it's one of the finest art forms that human beings have ever devised. The films, the movies. And now with modern technology added onto it, uh, there isn't a story now you can't tell. You can tell any story now because of modern technology. And for my money, you may disagree with me, but for my money, uh, the films they've been making in the last 10 years or so, these Marvel things, are nothing but utter waste. Comic books, that's how I see them. And yet, we have libraries of books, novels, and short stories that have never been touched that could be done now. Exactly, exactly. It's all woke nonsense nowadays, says Steve. And I agree with him. My son gave me access to Netflix and the other one. And I hardly use it. I spend, if I go into Netflix, I usually spend something like an hour looking for a film. And normally I give up on it because I've got so many things that I'll just automatically, no, no, no. Just, again, I've seen too many films where it's all about somebody running around with a gun shooting people. I've seen too many of those films over my life. It's enough. Some stories they needn't have bothered with. Exactly, John. I think that the superhero thing might very well be a trick. Oh, might be to trick us into thinking that we're small and ordinary, just a thought. It's a it's an interesting point of view, Doc. I've never considered that, but it's an interesting viewpoint. Netflix, last I checked, says Bearing the Brunt was absolutely terrible. Oh yeah, it's all the same. I mean, Hollywood is dumb. They're dumb. I'm not talking about the technical folk now. I'm talking about the so-called creative folk. What have you got? You've got a story here. So what we'll do, and it's been a successful film in the past. So what we'll do is we'll take out the lead man and we'll put in a female, and she can do all the things that the lead male can do, and that'll be a new story. No, it'll be crap. Gone is a great white movie star hero type. Too much toxic masculinity. Brown man good, white man bad. White man speak with forked tongue, as they used to say in westerns. And he did, of course. Can't argue with that one. But yeah, there's too much of that. So there comes a point in everyone's mind, absolutely everyone has this point in them, and I've reached it long ago. I can't suspend my disbelief. So there's so many films that I just can't watch. And Brown Man can fork off, says Steve. But that's the thing. There's a lot of laziness in Hollywood as well. And the idea, you see, I think Hollywood's about 10, 15 years behind the times. They still function as though they have a monopoly on entertainment. And they don't have that monopoly anymore. As Steve is saying, it's all agenda. But I worked out, I remember, this is years ago now, my friend and I, Jerry, were talking, and he knew how much I was involved in the idea of movies. Well, regulars on this channel will know that already. And he said to me one night, as a serious question, how much would it take to get the equipment, bare minimum, to make a film? I reckoned at that time around between 30 and 40,000. With that kind of money, you could buy high quality equipment along with computer equipment to edit, and you could make a film. I'm not saying it would be a big spectacular, it wouldn't be, but it doesn't have to be. Being ignorant, watching TV is something I rarely do unless I'm visiting my mother. Everything has an agenda to push, even the commercials. No, you're right. Absolutely right. Absolutely correct. I would agree 100%. I don't have television. I gave up television as a conscious act when the Jimmy Savile scandal broke. That was it for me. With that, whatever year that was, that with my license, TV license ran out, I just never bothered to buy another one, and I haven't bought one since. You'll find that bearing different. Most of the people that are regulars on this channel either don't watch any television at all or rarely watch it. White Weather, ethnic father, ginger bairn, and Chinese daughter. Yeah, okay. Well, this is the thing they're pushing. It's everywhere. They're trying to normalise the idea of blacks living amongst us and one big happy family, when everyone knows it's a lie. Okay, doke, William. Steve Coogan is to play him in a bio. But the whole thing is, it's a daydream at best. This idea of all these races living close proximity and getting on. At best, it's a daydream, and at worst, it's a bloody nightmare. Because it's never worked anywhere. It doesn't work anywhere. If you want any living proof of it, look no further than the USA. Because if it worked, you wouldn't have these huge pieces of America converted into other parts of the world. As I said many a time over the years, if living with different races in close proximity worked, you wouldn't have things like Chinatown or Little Italy. That wouldn't exist anywhere. I could happily live without a TV says bearing the print. For the new generation, it's been superseded by the smartphone. Yeah. Again, it's just, as you well know, Steve, I know you're being sarcastic, but diversity is good for no one. It's not good for the people it's getting pushed onto, and it's not good for the people they're using to push onto. I never forget, folks, as I've said often, you know, when people my age die off, we are the last generation in the West to remember a time that didn't include TV. In fact, for the most part, work class people had no wireless either. Oh, you're right there, Steve. I saw today something. I was going over to collect the rest of my prescription, and I saw on the street a black African woman who had obviously been imported from somewhere. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I give you this description. She must have been all of 5'2" and at least 20 stones. She was an enormous, big, enormous black woman. Now, she was so unfit that me and my damaged lung overtook her on the street, on the pavement. So you'll give you an idea of how slow she was walking when I overtook her. All right, oh, you're ahead of me here, Steve. And I was, as I say, I got quite a distance in front of her. And as I made myself ready to cross the very last street in my journey, I looked back and I couldn't help but ask myself, where is this woman ever going to work? Where is she ever going to get a job in this town? There are, I mean, there are women like that in this town. Our folk, sad to say, right? They don't have jobs. So where is this black woman going to get a job? And if you take the colour element out of it, well, where is she going to get a job? Who's going to employ a woman like that? She was struggling just to walk. So I was struggling to walk, but I've got a damaged lung. Well, tight Scotsman, I cannot imagine what the bloody hell she can do physically in the National Health or anywhere else. And I was trying to be fair-minded about it and thinking, how can that woman bend over to pick up a bucket, or if she was in Tesco, how could she pack shelves? As I say, I'm not being. I don't think I was being unkind. I was just trying to be objective about it. What about that budget? This woman was not capable of going any faster. She just wasn't capable. And I say, I overtook her and I've got a damaged lung, you all know. So unhealthily, mind you, she'll probably be an interpreter in the National Health, costing us God knows how much. Now, that's one thing I never thought about, burying the Bruin. I never thought about that. And yeah, it could well be. It could well be possible. Could well be possible. I never thought of that. Probably the head of health, John. Remember Weebles? Yeah, they wobble, but they didn't fall down. Yeah. I brought it up in conversation with my son when he came home, and he was telling me that that's not the worst case. There's things that are even beyond that. But of course, he minds his P's and Q's when it comes to his job. So I don't know what he was going on about. But if he says there's worse, then there's worse. But that was my thoughts. But Bering the Brunt has come up with a possibility. And it's what I had not considered at all. And the other thing I can't help but notice, and I'm sure you've all seen it yourself, no matter where you live, how many of these people have got cars? And when I say cars, I mean these big American style, like Land Rover type things. Oh, cars. And they start up business as soon as they arrive. This is where the flashpoints are going to happen. Steve. Possibly Diane Abbott's stunt double for the upcoming movie What a Minister. This woman was far larger than Diane Abbott. Far larger. I swear to God, she was. It's going to cost a fortune in healthcare. That's for sure. It's dreadful. And when I speak to people, and I don't get to speak to that many people nowadays because I'm not fit to be out and about, and even if I were fit to be out and about, there's nowhere to go. But I take every opportunity to speak to people wherever I can. And there seems to be a general consensus that people recognise that what we have here, not just in this town, but in this country, is we have the fire that's waiting for a few gallons of petrol to be added to it before it actually explodes. And I think they're right. I do. I think they're right. It's only going to take some small thing before the violence starts. Not that I want to see violence, but it's definitely on its way. And they're coming here too. I'm sure you'll have noticed this with 4 or 5 children. As you know, John, the constant grind of communism has worn me out. It's wearing us all down. Unfortunately, Steve, this is where people like us are at a disadvantage. Your ordinary Joe Smo on the street doesn't recognise that we're living in communism, with communistic ideas being pushed onto us, along with well, I think the trouble there I think the trouble with that, Steve, is they were able to hide it for long enough so that it kind of diluted itself. I've told you the story of how I found out about it. And I had to listen to these videos 3 and 4 times before I actually got it into my head what was actually being said. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. It's like I've often admitted, perhaps a better word would be confessed. Perhaps because I have confessed that I thought I was acutely aware of the political situation in Britain until my son bought me that first laptop and gave me access to the internet. And then I realized for the first time in my life, and I was a good age when this happened, there was so much that I didn't know anything about that was going on all around me. Well put, bearing the brunt. Well put. as I've said many times, and it's not an excuse. It's just an unfortunate reality that somebody like myself lived in an era where if you wanted to know anything, or at least have the possibility of knowing anything, you had to read books, big, thick books. Makes me feel so hopeless to see how apathetic Joe Average is. We're all the same, Steve. Don't think I'm immune to it, because I'm not. Most of the time, I'm so frustrated about being the age I am, not having the years in front of me and the health in front of me to try and make a difference. And every time I think there is no more to learn, there's something else to learn. And all we can do at the end of the day, I think, is our best. And I'm sure all of you feel the same as I do. Most of the problems and difficulties that this country faces are not difficult to solve for the most part. They're not. The trouble is, it's we don't have the power. That's what I genuinely feel about most of the problems. Not all of them, but most of them. Can't start to imagine the change you have seen, John says, bearing the brunt. I'm late 50s and I've seen so much change. Yeah, as I always say to people, whenever it comes up, I was brought up in the era of gas lamps. Streets were lit by gas mantles. It was horses and carts. This is all true. No television, of course. No radio, of course. And look at where I am now. I've got Hollywood technology in the house here, green screen technology behind me. I'm speaking to all you good people wherever you live. We've never met, and yet here we are. It's only been bad since the early 70s, says Trevelyan. It depends on what area of society you're looking at, Trevelyan. If the destruction of Christianity hadn't been so successful, we might not be exactly where we are today. I don't know if anybody here in the chat watches uh, the kind of show that I sometimes watch, and that is they're not dating shows, but they're shows where women come on and complain about they can't get a man. Good evening, Streaky. I see it's happy out here again. I brought sellotape to stop my sides splitting. Oh, sarcasm, sarcasm. So I say it depends on what part of society you're looking at. And let me reiterate, it's £5,000 for an individual to stand in a general election. And I can remember when that was changed. I was a young man. That was to make sure that most work class people would never stand for election. And they were right. It put an end to the independent candidate. Well, thank you very much, Streaky. It's good of you to say so. I'm glad you enjoy it. This channel wouldn't quite be the same without you, sir. I watch a splendid display of red kites. Mother Nature again. Eh? So, that was the real beginning when the assault on Christianity started in seriousness. And once you separate humanity from God, then they're completely lost. Completely lost. And it makes them easier to manipulate. And everything else flows from that. As I've said many times, most people, not all, but most people, look towards the pulpit for guidance and direction. And when that came to an end, they were lost. And it was easier then to feed them with just nonsense. And that's where we are. Just to be more depressive, then we've got a situation where that Zelensky has got long-range rockets, and he is firing them into Russia. See, it's all right for these folk in the White House and whatnot. They've all got specially made bunkers that they're going to go to. We're the ones, as always, who are going to be suffering. Stricky saying, tomorrow is Woodlanders get together and I'm gutted I can't go as I got drunk as F and hurt my ankle 6 weeks ago. And today is my first drink since. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. You're so correct, Duck. Well, that's where we are, Streaky. Streaky's got it. He's absolutely got it. The Russians are not bluffing here. It's just going to take one error. I don't forget, folks, and I don't like to be a warmonger because I hate war, as I'm sure all of you do. But we're already, when I say we, I mean this country is already up to its neck in it. We're already targets. Well, I know you don't really need to ask that question, Streaky. You already know the answer. We all do. And I don't want to end on a low note. It's a weekend. Bearing the Brit is saying, indeed, this whole Ukraine war is becoming concerning. Don't surprise me with the lunatics in charge. No, no, they are lunatics. And you can't even sort of quietly, with this long range hope that the American military are going to take over the White House and get rid of them. No, that's never going to happen. And it compounded by the idiots and crackpots that we've got and all across Europe. Waiting for an opportunistic moment. Yeah, it's a tragedy indeed, Streaky. It's a real tragedy. We are talking about Sunak leaving D-Day early. It breaks my heart to see Europe and our brothers fighting. Yeah, you see the Germans are seriously considering banning the right wing parties because they're gaining strength. I'm with Putin all day, and I don't want to be bored with people saying it's all theatre. Well, it ain't theatre. It's streaky. It's not theatre. It's really not. Suppose it's a small advantage that I have in my life now, being something of a recluse at the moment because of my health. I don't hear too much nonsense unless I say it. Well, thanks for letting me know, Streaky. I would have worried, you know that. You're going to be around for a couple of weeks, right? Okay. So if you're not around for a couple of weeks, I won't worry. I am not a fan of democracy. I have never been a fan of democracy. I'm loving the right in Europe and call me an optimist, but I really think the Overton window is changing. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. The US is on is a world stage shown to be compromised. Oh, sorry, I'll read that again. The US is on a world stage shown to be compromised. Correct. Yeah, you will know, of course, that he was not allowed to travel abroad. They've taken his passport. William is correcting our use of terms here. It's a theatre, hence the term theatre of war. It doesn't mean it's fake, it means it's a production. Well, there is that aspect, William. There is that aspect. Some people, not you, of course, but some people are incredibly unwise in the words that they choose to use. Fake cause and genuine effect, says Duck. I heard that before. That's a new one. Well, look, Streaky, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but if you're going to have a few drinks while you're away, wherever you're going to be, just be careful, eh? I don't want anything to happen to you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just trying to advise. All right? Especially if you have been away from it, and I expect that you have. So just be careful. We need all the good men we can get. So we need you to get through this patch. So next week I'm off for my consultation with the doctor next Thursday to find out what state of health I'm in. I know I look healthy, I feel healthy, but what's going on in here is another thing. The good Lord wants me to go on, then that's the way it'll be. If not, we'll just have to play that one by ear. Oh, that's good, Streaky. As I say, I wasn't trying to tell you what to do and how to conduct your life, obviously. Just concerned, that's all. That sounds good. Your mate, his boy. What age is his boy? If you don't mind me asking. 100 miles they drove to see you. That's a good friend. Brought some drinks. Show off that. Oh, he's got a new dog. Right. Sounds great. Bass, good evening, sir. Gavin, good evening to you. I'm looking chubby, I know. I know that. I'm putting weight on. First time in my life, put weight on. Well, enjoy yourself with your pal and his boy and the new dog, of course. I'm sure you'll have a brilliant time. And as I say, and I won't worry now, I know what's the absence has caused my. The new dog my mate got ID basically a mental mix which attacks brown people. So we had to be very careful. My mate got 6 boys. Yeah, the lad I known since I'm a baby, that's 24. It's 24. A young man then. Thanks, brown people. Is it colour recognition, Streaky? Or is it done by scent? Or is it voice command? Oh, I tell you. Brilliant. Anyway, William, if you really do want me to come onto your channel and do a film review on that movie, uh, send me an email and let me know when that's going to happen. I know you're talking to Duck. Welsh strong cider. Ah, dear. Yeah, let's hope. So anyway, after my sister comes back from her holiday, we'll be. Yes, I am, Duck. I'm going to get Jodie on. That's what I was just going to say there. When Alison comes back from her holiday, I'm going to get her on by herself. She's got a lot of things that I think are important and I would like all of you to hear. Uh, and then I'd like Jodie on herself. And once that happens, I would then like to have the three women on, my sister, Jodie, and PBC on one stream. I think that would be really interesting if I could get that sorted out. That's a real shame, that, Streaky. If I had been more up for it, I would have liked to do that as well, especially the idea of going to a hotel like yourself there. That would have been really good. 4 a.m. Well, I say that's the other difficulty, isn't it? It's the time element. If I can't get the three of them on the same stream, I'm confident I could get my sister and PBC on. My sister made sure that she was here when I had her on, as she was most impressed. And I thought the two of them, that would be a really interesting live stream. But I'd forgotten about that aspect of it at the time. The fact that she's in the USA. It'd just be interesting. I personally find it interesting to hear what she's got to say about where she lives and what it's like for her. So anyway, oh, Streaky, that sounds brilliant. I had it booked in a proper traditional pub. Oh, wow. £52, only 6 miles from our field of dreams. Wow. Now I can only walk about 20 minutes on pavements. It will heal, Streaky. But if this comes up again, let me know. I would love to do this. Especially, you know, a traditional English pub, hotel, brilliant. Can't think of anything better. Except the Scottish one, of course. Well, broke hearts take a bit longer to repair. Street. I'll do that, Doc. You remind me as well. I suggest that when you have that arranged, send Joni a reminder. She tends to be forgetful. Of course. As I say, the time difference may be a problem to get the three of them on at one time. But I like Joni to come on herself. So yeah, you remind me, please. The same with you, Streaky. You remind me if this arrangement comes again for a traditional pub and hotel. I'd love that. Oh, camping's not for me, my friend. For that price, it was great value, of course. I'm not sure things be available through the summer near our field if camping is too rough. Too much for me, Streaky. I couldn't even consider camping, my friend. I just couldn't. I'm not going to kid myself. Or you. Jury is spot on, fair play, and a very sensual voice and accent, may I say, says Streaky. Yeah. I know when Eki first appeared on the channel, uh, the ladies were swooning all over the sound of his voice, which was curious. But yeah, Streaky, if that comes round again, uh, please bring it to my attention. So it looks as though that Mr. Dangerfield's going to cut across the Friday live stream here. Okie doke, bearing the brunt. Enjoy your walk with the dogs. We'll see you next time. I'll be back with a bit of luck Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, my friend. Good evening, Anglo-Saxon. I'm just getting ready to finish up here. There you go. But as I say, if this Friday night malarkey continues, I might have to think about revamping things. We'll wait and see. So let me bring in the music. So do enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. If you get a bit of weather, get yourself outside and enjoy a bit of sun. And you take care of yourself, Streaky. Whatever you get up to, be careful. Okay? We need all the good men we can get. Looks like Anglo is going undercover. So, as I always say, friends, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and until Tuesday, 9 o'clock, goodbye for now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thank you for being here. Bye for now. Enjoy the music.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides the fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me. Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
All together now.
But love's much more,
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow,
But an important
in the
glow.
eternal flow.
Very well, Will.
Melodies of long ago, songs of innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul, have some consequence. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, awakening joys of you and me. Silently the snow falls, bringing winter symphony. But we're much more,
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow,
But an important glow.
in the eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow, in the eternal flow.
Well, I'll see you all soon, folks. Take care. And again, thanks for being here.